and thank you for joining us on another Salesforce video. Today's video is again on the Salesforce Residential Experience module. We are going over still the contact page. If you have watched any of our other videos, you can check out the section that goes over the apartment section. Today we're doing the assurance section on this video. We have another one on the at-risk section as well, so definitely check those out if you need help on those sections. The contact page is basically going to have the resident's information all on it. You're going to be able to see all that info from one place, be able to add all the good stuff, and keep track of what's going on with said resident. You can get to the resident contact page really from anywhere in Salesforce where you see their name. You'll see hyperlinks. If you didn't check out the other videos, you will see here. Anywhere you see something that's underlined blue like that, you can hover over it to get some information on it, or you can click in it and it'll open up a new tab, which we'll see here shortly. So without any further ado, this is the assurance section, which you can see in the middle of the contact page. So I am on contact Grandma Betty Smith, who is a resident at our Story Point community. It's a test community we have in the system. She lives in apartment 200. So you will see on assurances, the first thing you'll see that is highlighted is the meaningful connections and something to look forward to. We'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to start left to right here. First thing you're going to see if you click in from the left is the move-in momentum. So a move-in momentum is automatically created within Salesforce as soon as someone is moved into a unit, whether they are a brand new move-in or they are a transfer. So Grandma Betty was moved into Unit 200 in January. She's lived only in Unit 200, so she only has one move-in momentum. If she transferred to Unit 201, for instance, Salesforce would know to create a brand new move-in momentum here for us and move this one underneath it. So basically, as the executive director, you will come into move-in momentum as soon as someone moves into the system or transfers. You will click into that link, like I said. What's cool about Salesforce, it'll open up in a new tab for you, but it'll still have a tab before that to Grandma Betty. So when you're done with this tab, you can exit out or you can bounce back and forth between the two tabs, which is cool. So once you click into the move-in momentum, it's going to pull in the move-in momentum here. It's going to show your community's name, the resident's name, as well as when they moved in. Grandma Betty moved in on January 3rd, which means that the move-in momentum is due 30 days from move-in date. So you can see here the due date was February 2nd. This is a training one, or else I would have never let it pass. You guys know me. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing it within 30 days or your status is going to be late like this one was. We finished this one in July, way late, so it says complete late. If we completed this on time, this would show completed. It would have the correct completed date. If you are working on this, it'll show you how many days you have left to complete it within that 30-day window. Obviously, this is a terrible example since I was way late on this, and I'm hoping you guys never see any like this. So what should have happened is on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, at some point before February came around, you would come into this move-in momentum, and you would come in here and actually update all of the information. So what you would do from here is click Edit up top, and it will either open up in a window like this, or you could have clicked on one of the little pencils next to any of these fields as well. I kind of prefer to see it here. I can bounce around a little quicker. It's really personal preference. So I'll say we're going to click on Edit. It's going to pull in the information here. So again, this is something that is required to be completed within 30 days of a resident move-in to a unit, whether that's a brand new unit or a transfer. So the list that you're seeing here is going to show you all of the functional group tasks that need to occur. So culinary, executive director talk, housekeeping, life enrichment, all the way down to the wellness team here. So it's the ED's responsibility to ensure all of these conversations are completed in a timely manner. So each section will ask for the date that it was completed as well as you checking that it was done on time. A new move-in momentum, like I said, will appear in the move-in momentum section to be completed every single time a resident moves into a new apartment. So whether that's a move-in or a transfer, you'll click into that link, you'll fill everything out, you will hit save, it will save all the information, and hopefully you're doing it within 30 days, and it will show that it was completed, and you are home free until the next time that somebody else moves in or the next time this person transfers the unit. Once you're finished with this, you can exit out of this, and it will take you back to Grandma Betty's contact page. So that is the move-in momentum section. Again, if she transfers, this one will move down one, and you'll have a new link that you will be responsible for filling out. The second section in assurances, the second tab, I should say, is the meaningful connections and something to look forward to. So this is split out between both things. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the meaningful connection section, and then the right, you'll see something to look forward to. And then you'll have a button to add new ones here. You will see anything in the future as an open activity. So if you're scheduling a meaningful connection or something to look forward to, you can do so with the new button. Or if you're adding one that you just did, you would use new button. And the ones that you completed already will show in the activity history sorted by date. So you can see Liz did a couple on the 23rd and then the 24th. These were all meaningful connections. If we click view all, it'll show all of the history that's been done. So if you had more than just the 3 and you wanted to see all of them, you can click in and see all of the information associated to them as well from here, which is cool. But what you'll see here is you will see how many should have been completed by now, how many you have completed, and when your next one is due for both sets of information. So a meaningful connection should happen every 30 days for each resident. If it doesn't, this is going to cause the experience score to lower. So the experience score is this row score up top. So this is related to meaningful connections, something to look forward to, as well as cases, which we're going to go over in another video when we go over the at-risk section. So basically, every time there's a case associated to a resident, every time you miss a meaningful connection or something to look forward to, it's going to lower said score. So you want the score to be as high as possible. If you see it lowering, this is why. A meaningful connection should happen every 30 days for each resident. A something to look forward to should happen every 90 days for each resident. Again, these will cause things, if you're missing these, it will cause the row score to go down. So this row score is going to be based off of consistency. So making sure that you have these meaningful connections every 30 days, these something to look forward to every 90 days. So not having 3 of these in a week and then not doing 3 for a month, that's not going to do much for you, or not doing any, for 3 months. So if you do 3 today and then you don't come back and do any for 3 months, that's going to be the same as if you did 1 today and 0 for the next 3 months. So we're looking for consistency as opposed to trying to knock them all out at once, obviously. If you're consistent with it and you do more than 1 a month, by all means, obviously, that's great. But you definitely want the consistency to occur. So this shows you based off of move-in date how many meaningful connections should have been completed by now and how many somethings to look forward to should have been completed by now. And then it shows you how many you actually completed down here as well. So you always want the second number down here to either be equal to, or higher than the top number. So we're doing really good here, obviously, since these numbers are higher than the top number. And then down here, you'll see it'll show you when the next meaningful connection should be completed by, and then when the next something to look forward to should be completed by. And down here is where you can schedule said things so they'll show up for you. So to add a new one, like I said, you'll click on Add New, and then basically the screen's going to prompt you on, hey, is it a meaningful connection or a something to look forward to? So like we said, these should happen, the meaningful connections every 30 days, these every 90 days. Let's say it's a meaningful connection. I'll click there. I will hit Next. And basically, it's going to ask you to describe the meaningful connection. So if that's going to be me and Betty having lunch together, I can say, have lunch with Betty on Tuesday next week. Okay. So this is going to say, hey, has this been completed already? If it's something we already did, so if we already had lunch, I would say it's been completed already. But because I said I'm going to schedule this for next week, I'll say no. And then it's going to ask you when you want to schedule it for. So I said Tuesday. I'm going to just select Tuesday here. And then, hey, did you learn something new about the resident? I'm going to say no for now because we haven't talked yet. But if I did, when I come back to close this out, I can change this to yes. So what I'm going to do is hit Save and Finish, and you'll see what happens. Instead of this coming up in the completed section, it's going to show in my open activity section. So now I'm going to know that, hey, I have a open activity with this person scheduled on the 12th. So, when I look at my calendar and my list of tasks, I'll be able to see what I have going on for that day. So same thing for something to look forward to. You can click in and add new, and then you just select something to look forward to, and you hit next. And then it's going to ask you to describe the something to look forward to. So if I talk to Betty and her something to look forward to is her son, flying into town next week, that could be the something to look forward to. So let's say that her son and grandson are coming into town to see her next week. So obviously that's something to look forward to. So has the something to look forward to been completed yet? We can say yes or no, I guess, depending on this. We're going to say no because it's next week. And then the date of something to look forward to would be, the 16th. Did you learn something new about the resident? Let's say yes. Let's say that you didn't know that she had a grandson. So I'm going to say yes here. And then what was it? Was it a personal insight or a community preference? This is something personal about her, not the community. So if it was about the community, it could have been that she loves the baked potatoes or something like that. So what did I learn? I learned, I didn't learn how to spell, evidently, that Betty has, Betty has a grandson in Arizona. Cool. So I'm going to save that, and it is going to pull that into my open activities since it's something to look forward to that hasn't happened yet. And then, on that date, I can check in with her again, when the son comes and the grandson, see how it went, all that good stuff. I can add notes about that. All of that information basically is going to show up here for me to close out. So it's a cool way to be able to keep track all my something to look forwards to, as well as the meaningful connections. So the third tab in assurances is the resident insight. So the resident insight section is related list that will show any resident insights that you've added in the meaningful connections or something to look forwards to. So for instance, I added the personal connection, in the past when I've done other meaningful connections, that she's interested in clocks or she loves chocolate cake for dessert, things of that nature. So this will pull anytime you add them in any of these other sections, but you also have the ability to add them with the add new button. So if you guys are just talking in, passing, or if someone at the property or receptionist, for instance, says, oh my gosh, Betty loves, these candies that we have up front. That's something that you could actually come in here and add without a meaningful connection or something to look forward to, and just say, hey, her personal thing is she loves these candies. Or about the community, hey, she loves when front desk has candy corn. So you can know to stock up on candy corn for her at the front desk. So that'll actually show up in the resident insights. So if you click view all, it will pull all of this information for us here. So it pulls it by date, longest to go. You can sort by date if you click in here, and it'll pull in the ones that are closest. If you click in twice, it'll show you the one that I just did. But basically, you can click into any of these and see that information, which is cool. Again, this tab opens in a new tab here. If you want to get back to grandma, you can just click here. You can exit out of this, keep it open, whatever you want to do here. So this video, like I said, went over the assurance section. So hopefully you guys got some good information on the move-in momentum, the information here as well for the meaningful connections and something to look forward to, as well as the resident insights. If you guys have any questions on this, please check out the written documentation or watch the video again. If you need anything in addition to this, reach out to appsupport@sig.com. But definitely check out the other videos going over the other sections as well. Thank you, as always.